I have to seriously do something about the lighting in here, don't I? Something happened the other day that is a good example of how the paranormal can happen all around you. And if you're not someone that's looking for it, you're not going to see it. Now, Terry Pratchett had a way of describing it is that the human brain just shuts it off. So you can have this skeleton talking to you like a human being, like Death does in one of his books. But the mind just doesn't register that it's a skeleton. The mind registers that you're talking to a person and ignores the fact that it's a skeleton because that's outside of the norm, and human minds don't like to register these things. That was the way Terry Pratchett put it. But the way I like to think of it as, you're just not going to notice. It's no different than there's this test called, not a test, but there's an experiment called the elephant in the room. And it gets you watching these people, like about 8 or so people, transferring a ball back and forth and telling you not to forget sight of the ball. And then a person in an elephant suit will walk across the thing, but you're so focused on the ball you don't even notice the elephant suit. I've had this done to me when I did a refresher course for one of my anthropology things last year, and it was a pink person in a pink suit, I think it was, for that one. I didn't notice because I was trying to see who was going to be dishonest and pocket this money they were handing around in the room. I literally did not notice the person in the suit walk through, and it's called the elephant in the room. You can look it up. But so this is how the paranormal is for a lot of people, especially non-believers. People who don't want to see it, aren't looking forward to when they see it, and they can't explain it. They're going to explain it away or whatever. Now, mind you, it's the same way for people who just really want to see the paranormal. So they'll see anything, like a roommate who saw a pattern in the wood in the hallway downstairs and decided that this must be a ghost face. It was just a pattern in the wood, guys. And so, you know, there's this balance you have to strike. Okay, anyway, so the husband and I are taking a hike out in the woods. We took a drive to this particular park because there's a vortex that's supposed to be there, and to go out in the woods to this vortex. I was going to film it for you guys, let you guys see it, talk a little bit, maybe hopefully catch something on camera. So we're walking in, and there are these butterflies. It's at that time of year. And I'm very fond of butterflies, not because of MK Ultra. I just like butterflies. I find them to be vicious, territorial little bastards. I used to do fairy pictures of butterflies, and I would draw honeybees, which my father kept some. So I would draw them as these working, peaceful, utopian society people. And then when I would depict the butterfly fairies, they always had spears in hands, going, "Rah, I'm gonna kill you," because that's just how I see butterflies. And, you know, pay attention to butterflies. Watch them out there. They'll fight each other till one's neck breaks. They are vicious. I'm watching these butterflies, and it was the big black ones with the blue, and there were a couple of the yellow striped ones, and there was one, I forget the name of it, Queen Anne or Anne's Lace. I always forget the names. And the husband's up ahead of me, and I'm lagging behind because I've got the dog, and I'm walking the dog, and he's clearing spiders from the path, you know. And this butterfly comes from my right side out of the forest. The trail's, by the way, very, very narrow little trail, very, very, very rarely traveled trail. People don't go to this vortex often anymore. So the butterfly comes out of the forest, flitters along, and it's flittering down. You know how butterflies will take that sloping descent when they're landing? Also, you know how something heavy will take a sloping descent when it's landing? And there was this bush on the side of the trail on the left side, and it wasn't like a thick bush. It was a light bush with some few branches, you know, one of those weed bushes that like to take over your yard if you're not careful. The butterfly sloped down to the top of the bush, like here it is, and as it landed, the leaves reacted like something heavy was on them. Just, you know, not a whole lot like that, more like, which I suppose the weight of a butterfly could also do it, but I've seen a lot of butterflies land in my life, and it seems to me that if a butterfly landed on these particular leaves, it would have only maybe done that, but it went like this, and it was okay because of the way the butterfly landed. And as it was landing, now this, you know, I could have sworn that the bottom half of the butterfly turned into that of a little brown bird. Tail, feathery back, legs, and little bird legs and feet. And the feet pushed down as the leaves pushed down, and then pushed the butterfly back up again so that the leaves are going like that now. And right about here, it was a butterfly again, flitting along, going up because it had regained its momentum. Now, I wasn't aiming to look for the paranormal that day. And to be honest, there is a possibility that was the trick of the light. It's not like I had a meter, although when I when I told the husband, "Oh, look what I just saw," he came back and he opened up this app that's supposed to, it's like this spirit app that's supposed to track the the energy around. And of course there wasn't nothing, because let's say it was one of the little folk. The little folk are a shape-shifting creature. That does not mean that they are going to put out any sort of electronic disturbance for an app to find. They're just a different creature. But as the butterfly took off, it went off and I watched it, and there were 3 of the yellow stripy butterflies flitting around a tree that had some flowers, and I don't recall it going to those butterflies at all. And I cannot remember what kind of butterfly it was. I've been trying, and all I've got in my head is this black butterfly shape. I thought, well, maybe it's one of those black butterflies with the blue, but then again, it could have been one of the yellow ones with the stripes. But anyway, I was not looking for the paranormal. I just was watching a pretty butterfly. I had my camera in hand. I was thinking I would photograph said butterfly if it landed. And the event happened so quickly that there is no way I could have registered to think, oh, I should film this. It just was and gone. So that didn't do any good. I've got a helmet cam. I'm just going to leave it running from now on when I take these hikes, so that when I happen to look and see something, so will my camera type deal. But that's not doing me any good right now. So I wasn't looking, but because I'm open to the idea of the paranormal, if that really was a paranormal event, I may have witnessed a little folk. Incidentally, we did not make it to the vortex. It was very, very hot, and we didn't bring enough water with us, and we had to turn around when we thought the path ended, and we have to rethink our journey. We are indeed going to try again. But it was just a little something that if you want to witness these things, you've got to actually have your eye open and notice when a little folk turns into a bird to get their fat butt back up in the sky, the fatty fat. Of course, another thing I thought of, because screen memories where it might not have been anything at all. It might be that something happened and I was given this screen memory of this little folk. But Tim and I had absolutely, completely no missing time. We looked at the clocks, we assessed it, there was absolutely no missing time. So that is the latest event. Like I said, could have been a trick of the light. But imagine how cool it would be if it weren't. I know that when we go back, I'm going to be bringing trinkets, some tobacco for the little folk. Maybe they'll help us find the vortex. Who knows?